5 mistakes to avoid for Star Rail. It's based on CBT3 experience of Star Rail, so everything is subject to change, but hopefully this will still help. Number 1, leveling up multiple characters. You would think that this is something that is very obvious, but as many times it has proven to me, you get a little overzealous about leveling up characters. Resources may seem abundant, begin to inflate in cost as you level them up, focusing on 2 DPS while providing the minimum to the rest of the party for a bit until you can manage getting 2 teams eventually for Forgotten Hall, which is the endgame mode. There's technically 2, but well, for these 2, I actually would suggest to level up the Trailblazer MC and Don Hung, as they're both good, cost-efficient starters, or instead of Mr. Aoyagi Toya over here, that work on a 5-star DPS character if you manage to pull one early in the gacha, especially if you're doing the discount banner. Now, for the reasoning, the MC functions as multiple characters, kind of like the Traveler from Genshin Impact. Trailblazer here, very resource efficient to level, and you can pass their gear onto another character if you so choose to do so, like say if you get a character like Sushang. Now, while Dong Hung might actually not be the best DPS out there, he does seem to scale well into mid to late game, especially with his provided debuff utility of inflicting slow. Affecting the speed in this game is very, very big. Granted, it is not exactly guaranteed, but you can work on that. Characters you would also level up alongside them, which wouldn't be the main DPSs, but you can give them some stuff, would be March 7th and either Natasha or Asta, if you want to squeeze out a bit more damage. March 7th and Natasha can also help you sort of brute force your way through the game. March, who has shields, and Natasha, who is just your general all-purpose healer. Both of them also eventually get debuff removals, which is pretty useful in late game, or at least mid to late game. If shields are as powerful as they were in the beta, well, March can pretty much get you through a whole lot of stuff. Till I got to the 3rd area, Shenzhou, I literally used March as my only support. Around when I got to Shenzhou is where I started realizing that I needed to either level up my characters or use a healer, since we're on the topic of leveling up characters. Number 2, not leveling relics / light cones or characters. Light cones and the head / hand pieces of the relics will provide the most immediate boost to HP and attack, since they have fixed stats, kind of like flowers and feathers in Genshin. Light cones and the hand pieces in particular boosting attack specifically. Well, some light cones more than others, but yeah. Those of you familiar with FGO, Star Rail does not naturally level up characters or relics, so you need to use materials and credits to level up characters, which starts to inflate as you go up in level, especially for 5 stars. Farming mats, like with the Calx golden nodes that you find as soon as you enter Yarlow 6, which is the 2nd area, you can start using your stamina there immediately to grind for efficiency. Oh, and also just to, start refreshing your stamina. This one specifically drops XP to level up characters, which you're gonna need in abundance. You can use those on 4 of your first team, but obviously focusing your 2 main TPS, and then just kind of focusing on leveling up the levels of your supports, March and either Asta, and then mainly focusing the light cone / relics of your 2 DPSs as well, until you get to a point where you can start leveling up other characters. Number 3, the next mistake, which is a big one for F2P players, using Stellar Jade on the standard warp banner, unless you really want that character. Heavens know that I did this early on to get my first 5-star from the discount, but I could have saved that for roles later on the event banner for either Seele or Jing Yuan. Stellar Jade really become very finite. You feel like you have a lot early on, but you start realizing how little you're receiving and how much you're gonna need for rolling. Where you're given standard warp passes or tickets multiple times, we get 20 alongside Serval from the pre-registration rewards and 10 from getting Trailblazer ranks 5, 15, 25, and 35 from what I remember. This can also change, but it's already like 60 summons there. You can also get more from just playing through the game and doing the simulated universe every week. Save the Jade to use that for special gold passes to roll on the event banner of your choosing. Save wisely. Number 4. Since we're already talking about getting summons, I'll bring up the next mistake, which is not buying from the in-game shops and neglecting side quests. Not only would this give you Stellar Jade, but you also get a bunch of other useful items for leveling up your characters. The in-game shops are similar to the Stardust / Glitters shops in Genshin, which they do have that in this game as well, but these are just, regular shops with mats, useful items for crafting, and buying from these shops also raise the shop levels, which gives rewards like Stellar Jade that you need for rolling, and the MC's Eidolons, which are basically the equivalent of constellations in this game if you play Genshin. They're the duplicates for the main character, and literally the only way to get them is through the shops. You can also get summoning tickets from shop level 5, unless they change that. And you also can get Trailblazer XP, which can help you get even more summoning tickets and more Stellar Jade. You get this currency from the shops, kind of also have to do side quests. So it's a little bit of a back and forth, but you're getting more currency anyway. You can take your time with that, but that's dependent on which characters you're leveling up. Number 5. Not managing to do Simulated Universe and Forgotten Hall before reset. You would think these are a little bit more obvious, but people have a tendency to just, well, put it off till the last second. Me. While Forgotten Hall may be a bit more difficult to manage, especially once you get to the section where it's way more harder than regular, it's still good to do that. You can at least try to get the rewards before reset. Forgotten Hall takes a little bit longer to reset from what I've seen. Simulated Universe is every week and much more easily doable. It is based on a point scoring system, and you don't even have to complete the world, but you just need to continue to play. And if you lose, it'll calculate the points that you do once you finalize. Once you either finalize or, well, lose and then are forced to finalize. Then once you hit the points cap, you can receive the weaker rewards like the coins to claim the planar ornaments, basically the 2-piece set artifacts or relics that you see in Star Rail. And these are really good. The only place you can get them, well, you can craft them, but the place that you would be getting them anyways is Simulated Universe, and this is basically like a free claim for those. And also get items as well as summoning tickets that you can use to redeem for summoning tickets and light cone. Easy boost to your account. Give it a crack. It's also really fun since, well, it's a roguelike game mode. You can really crack out your character. While this is intended to help, the things that I talk about here are from the closed beta, which are subject to change on full release. Hope this will help in some way anyways, and that's pretty much it for now, so hope you're all having a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. With that, peace out.